What's up everyone, SKULM here. Diablo 4's Season 9 has taken randomness to a whole new level. But is this chaotic change actually benefiting the game, or is it just causing frustration? Join us as we dive into the community's reactions and analyze the impact of this bold new direction. Let's begin. Now in this video, of course, I am going to use the dataset that I have obtained from my community because, I ask people questions and they are kind enough to actually show effort, spend their time and reply to my questions. They follow my posts and I'm super thankful to everyone who have participated on these posts, and hopefully this will help Blizzard to create a better game. Now, in this video, I am going to talk about my overall desired changes. And please keep in mind, these are just my personal opinions and you can just disagree with me. As long as you are kind, polite, and open-minded, I have no problem with anyone. So, let's begin. So, overall desired changes. I personally want to make the game less RNG and provide more control to players by way of grinding resources. Right now, Diablo 4 in general relies too much on RNG. You have to work for mythic uniques to get multiple Greater Affix rolls on them. You have to find a lot of temper rolls which are actually close to perfect, which is finish, or Masterworking, which is an insane RNG simulator. We'll come to those later. But my general philosophy is keep the RNG, still make the RNG a viable portion of the game, but lower the RNG, provide more control to players. And I have came up with some of these answers and solutions. So, let me just begin. I want to add new quests to the game that actually provides an extra charge of Greater Affix to Mythic Unique Gear. I will elaborate on this very soon. Let me talk about something else. I want exclusive special pit maps and music and environmental details. When I enter the pit, I want the pit to be unique. I also want clan castles and hell invasions, specific zones or shards where clans have importance and they get to do an activity together, which will be, of course, rewarding by itself. This could be a completely different endgame mechanic as well. I also want open world riddles, mystery locations, and more puzzles to solve. Let us hunt for clues out in the open world. Make the world a mysterious place. So, let's talk about the first subject. Make the game less RNG, provide more control to players. So currently speaking, Diablo 4 is in a bad spot because there is too much RNG in the game. This is my personal opinion. But from what I have gathered from my community, people waste all their hard-earned work on tempering and masterworking, and they say that this is never a good way of retaining players. So I have came up with some solutions. A lot of the people in community as well as other content creators are also covering these solutions. So these are not my original ideas or whatever. Some of them are, but these are general ideas that are actually flowing in the community right now. So instead of implementing permanent breaking, make tempering a weekly cooldown. So if an item breaks, you wait for 1 week or 5 days or whatever, and after this period, you will have to pay a certain amount of resource to gain back your tempering charges. So this way, an item might still be bricked, but at the same time, it's not going to be permanently bricked. It can be saved by players. And I think this is a really good measure to improve and increase player retention, because players will obviously come back to the game to save their bricked item. So you will retain players for the long term. And I have asked my community why they quit the season, and the overwhelming majority pointed at masterworking. People actually farm a lot of resources, and they literally waste all their resources in 3 to 5 minutes. All of it gone, and they hit bottlenecks. This season, it's of course Forgotten Souls. Before that, it was something else. Farming Opticite is also frustrating. So, masterworking RNG is a huge problem, and I'm gonna play this clip right now.
Yeah, so tempering and masterworking is something that we have been talking about internally. We don't have anything to share exactly yet about.
As you can see, they say they're looking at it, but I don't want to leave it to chance. I don't want to rely on chance. Masterworking needs a checkpoint system, tier reset system. The checkpoint or tier reset solves this problem so efficiently, because instead of going back like from rank 12 to rank 0, you will just go from rank 12 to rank 9. You will keep your point at rank 4 and rank 8. This will not only help you save materials, but also it will help you have a sense of progression towards optimizing your item. A season only lasts for 3 months, maybe even shorter. And doing this masterworking RNG season after season is definitely tiresome for most players. The current masterworking RNG system is especially bad if people want to play multiple builds. For example, in season 8, I have played Blood Wave and I also want to play Blood Spear, but getting an optimal result from masterworking for both these builds is extremely tiresome, and it's just boring, because you just have to spam click masterworking and hope for getting the triple procs. Now, some of you might say, hey, you're not supposed to get the triple crit, just live with it. That's not how it goes. Yes, it is an ARPG. Yes, RNG plays a factor in it, but it doesn't mean that RNG has to be 100%. Again, this is just my personal opinion. Feel free to disagree with me. I also try to see your perspective on this. It's just what I think. I think for optimal or competitive players who want to achieve good results, some sort of player control should be given without taking away RNG too much. And I think the tier reset or the checkpoint system is the perfect middle ground that still retains some part of the RNG, but also offers a player control, because once you hit the checkpoint, once you save that point, it won't be as frustrating as before, because you will keep your progress at least. This will help you masterwork more gear, experiment and try out more builds within the lifespan of a season. It's really good. Masterworking tier reset should be definitely implemented into this game. That's what I think. Now, let's talk about the mythic uniques. I have seen a lot of content creators, including myself, craft the same mythic unique over and over and over and over again, crafting it, and I cannot speak for them, of course. What I personally observe, including my own experience, spam crafting mythic uniques not only actually lowers their value, but also it's just tedious, it's just boring, because they lose purpose. Mythic uniques are supposed to be items that are obtained under challenging conditions, and they are supposed to be what they are. They are supposed to be mythic uniques. They're supposed to be important items. So, spam crafting them and then salvaging and spam crafting more, it's not cutting it. So, what I came up with is, hey, listen, nobody wants to craft 150 of the same mythic unique during one season. People want to play the game, right? So, what I came up with was, instead of making players spam craft mythics and salvage them, let's introduce brand new mythic unique special quests, where a player can add a secondary greater affix to their chosen mythic unique upon completing the quest. This could be something like this. You kill Belial. The hilt of grandfather drops to you. Not the item, but the hilt of the grandfather. You loot the hilt of the grandfather. This will pop up a quest in your quest log. It will tell you to find someone in a certain city who may have heard or who may have known anything about the grandfather, perhaps an acolyte of Deckard Cain or something like this. You find this person, they tell you a little bit about grandfather, they tell you about the lore of the grandfather, and then they give you a crucial information. It was last seen during, like, at this war near the cave marked with X or whatever. You go to that instance, you farm some materials, then you create a portal or open a secret location where you actually go kill a special boss or a special type of monster, and then you complete the quest. Not only you have actually taken a journey to create your mythic unique item, but also now you can add multiple greater affix on that mythic unique. If you have, I don't know, grinded or farmed, Blizzard can adjust the grind. I think it should not be easy. I think it should be a big grind, but you know, for people who want to spam craft the mythic unique, let them spam craft the mythic unique. But for example, for me, I would rather do the quest and grind and grind and grind and just obtain the mythic unique myself. You know, get the greater affix on whatever I want, add some more greater affix. Just this will help me play the game because it promises a guaranteed reward at the end of the grind, which is insane. The RNG aspect of an ARPG is still there. You still have to find the item or find a spark first to get the mythic unique item you want. So, you know, I think having the option to add multiple greater affix to the mythic unique upon completing a quest would add to this game. That's what I believe in, at least. These quests should not be easily completable and they should be challenging. This goes without saying. And I think this new system would improve player retention because the reward is guaranteed for the player, so you will be motivated to do this. The RNG factor is still in the game, but with the system, more control is given to the player for their hard work. And I firmly believe that this is not gonna get old as the seasons go by, because people, yes, they will be familiar with the quests. They will be, all right, whatever, like I have to do this quest again 5 times. This is season 1 million, I have to do the quest again. But it is still better than RNG. It is still better than crafting 150 of the same mythic unique and not getting triple or double GA. I think this is the way. That's what I believe in. So let's talk about the other subject. I want exclusive pit maps and music. In Diablo 4, you have different and great, diverse endgame activities: Infernal Hordes, Nightmare Dungeons, pits, Rust Undercity, and what have you. So they just need to have more uniquely defining characteristics, and pits are extremely important because my guess is the official leaderboards are going to be pit leaderboards in the future. That is going to be integrated in the next year, 2026, or 2026 rather. So I think having pit maps use Nightmare Dungeon map assets is a bad decision. The pits should have their unique map pool and environmental effects, because when you enter the pit, you're supposed to be in a rift, right? Artificer's Rift, Artificer's Realm. So this is the perfect excuse to take you somewhere that you're unfamiliar with, somewhere with a unique atmosphere, like a challenging or dark or nightmarish atmosphere. But instead we get teleported into a castle and there are vampires in it, or we get teleported into the Red Canyon, which is the S tier map of the pit, and during the Red Canyon, or the Red Cliffs rather, you have red spiders. Like, bro, this is a nightmare dungeon already. Like, I actually been into this nightmare dungeon. Why am I, like, that doesn't make sense to me. It kind of does, but at the same time, I think this is a missed opportunity. Imagine this, they change the pits. you have only 5 pit maps. The map pool starts small, but every map has a different characteristic, and they have their own soundtracks. So this would definitely make the pits much more unique, and it would breathe fresh air into an already successful endgame content. And I think this change would also help Blizzard create and manage the pit leaderboards in the future, because the pit maps can be objectively designed for leaderboard competition. What I'm trying to say is there is a huge difference in pit maps. When pit leaderboards are integrated, there is still a long time for it, but if it comes right now during Season 9 or Season 8, it's going to be a disaster because of the maps and the RNG fishing of the maps. People are going to burn through their Artificer stones just to get the Red Canyon map. That's not going to fly, Chief. Just create 5 different pit maps, test them, let people test it, listen to the feedback. Start preparing for the leaderboards, because once you bring out the pit leaderboards, at least you will have time to test these maps and get feedback from the players. All right? Again, 5 maps, start small, build up on it. That's what I actually want. So, again, personal opinion. That's it. Now, let's talk about clan castles and hell invasions. Now, I have thought about this, and I think I have to say this. The social elements of the game has seen some improvement with the LFG tool. Congratulations to Blizzard for implementing the LFG tool into this game. It helps people find teams, players to play with, do pits, push pits, do Belials, rotation runs, Undercity runs. It's a great tool. LFG is perfect. Now, however, this is still not enough to motivate people to join clans. Joining a clan should be an alternative social endgame. And I think this can be achieved by the following proposition. I propose creating a new instance where 5 random clan castles can exist together and form a tower defense to prevent the upcoming hell invasion. So it's essentially clans using a queue system and queuing into an instance. This instance selects 5 clans and places their castles around the same zone. It's a big map. The objective of these clans would be to stop a hellish invasion that will last for 24 hours. The hell invasion increases in difficulty every 6 hours. A lieutenant of hell appears or something like this, and it would finally spawn multiple bosses with a powerful army for the final showdown. Upon stopping the invasion, if the clans are successful, the clan members each get extremely powerful rewards such as resplendent sparks, materials, and so on. In addition to this, also decoratives and achievement banners or monster heads trophies can be integrated to be displayed in clan castles. Now you're giving clans or players to actually upkeep, maintain their castle, so that they can get ready for the next invasion or stop an invasion. Also the raids. You really need to buff the raid rewards. Make raids drop multiple Greater Affix mythic uniques or legendaries, or some sort of extra motivation is required so that people would opt in for these systems. It's not necessary, but hey, if they do, they're gonna get an advantage. Right, so let's talk about the last subject. Open world riddles and mystery locations. Now, everyone is hunting for the cow level in Diablo 4. We see videos, we see people working very hard for it. Great job so far. I personally think we need more riddles in the open world. Cow level is a given. I think we need riddles like the Lucid Nightmare, the endless maze from World of Warcraft. If you're not familiar with what I'm saying is, in World of Warcraft there was a riddle which would grant you a mount called Lucid Nightmare. And in Towards the final steps of this riddle, you enter into an endless maze. You have no idea about the map layout, and you actually have to use a pen and paper in real life. You actually need to use a pen and paper to draw the map. That's an efficient way of solving this riddle. I'm gonna leave down the clues and the information about the Lucid Nightmare puzzle. There's also a really nice Reddit post, and the person who designed this puzzle was working in Blizzard, so Blizzard definitely has the tools to actually integrate this type of riddle into Diablo 4. And I want more mystery in the Outworld, hidden clues about next expansions, and lore in general. So in summary, as a basically, if I want to sum up everything, I really want Blizzard to, of course, retain the RNG characteristics of an ARPG game, but let's lower the RNG a little bit and let's provide more player control. Now, this comes off with a warning. In World of Warcraft, I am heavily disliking the amount of chores that you need to do, the amount of grind that you need to do, and everything starts to become super mundane. Diablo 4 should not make this mistake. The RNG element of the game should still be strong, but right now it is very detrimental for the players. It needs to be brought down to a healthy level, the RNG factor, and more player control should be given to the players in terms of grind, materials, and so on. Once players have these controls, adding multiple greater affixes to mythic uniques through way of mythic quests or having other stuff, masterworking tier reset, tempering weekly cooldown, save options, I think this would definitely serve the game in a better way and improve and increase player retention, which will bloom a healthy environment for the future of this game. These are the changes I am proposing. Let me know down in the comments if you agree, disagree. That's all fine, as long as you're kind enough. Thank you so much for watching me. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.